Welcome to this explainer. Today we're actually taking a slightly different path. We're going on a gentle, profoundly beautiful exploration of a stunning piece of Gujarati poetry. In our time together, we're going to uncover that deep, incredibly universal emotional urge to just freeze time, to find a tiny pocket of absolute calmness in what is otherwise a chaotic, relentlessly spinning world. So let's let the noise fade away for a minute and just focus on the imagery.
So, let's dive into this by thinking about our own super fast-paced lives. We've all been there, right? You're sitting in a perfectly quiet room, or maybe you're watching a sunset with someone you love, or just having this fleeting moment of pure peace. And suddenly, you feel that nostalgic, almost desperate desire to just hit the pause button on the whole universe. You want the world to stop demanding your attention, so you can literally just exist in that feeling forever. Well, that exact emotion is the beating heart of the poem we're exploring today.
Section 1. Removing the clock's battery. The urge to freeze time.
Step right into the poet's whimsical imagination with me here. Let me take the cell out of the clock so the sun stops spinning. Just imagine the sheer relief in that thought. Picture looking up at the sky and watching the relentless, unstoppable march of the sun just gently, quietly, coming to a total halt. The pressure of the passing day completely vanishes, and it's replaced by a deep breath of stillness.
What's absolutely brilliant is how the poet uses these incredibly mundane, everyday elements to craft this magical scene of ultimate calmness. The imagery is so vivid. It isn't some cold, dead, frozen landscape. It's a world paused at its absolute most beautiful. Birds frozen mid-flight, butterflies suspended perfectly in the air, the petals of a flower caught exactly halfway as they close for the night. Even our spoken words just hang there in the silence, and the setting sun becomes an eternal, beautiful evening.
And this sets up such a powerful contrast between the fleeting nature of our actual moving reality and the deep satisfaction you find in this softly sketched, paused world. In the moving world, everything kind of slips right through our fingers, doesn't it? The sunset disappears into the dark, words fade away into nothing. But in the paused world, everything beautiful simply stands still. The narrator gets to hold on to all these happy memories and beautiful elements forever.
Section 2. When time complains, the confrontation with reality.
But, of course, you can't just pause the universe without someone noticing. Then time himself will descend from the sky, approach and complain. Time is personified here, stepping down from the heavens, probably looking at his own watch, acting like an anxious manager who just found out the entire factory shut down, demanding the world get back to work right this second.
Time asks the narrator, "Why did you stop me? How is tomorrow supposed to arrive?" And man, doesn't that just hit the nail on the head? Time's anxious complaints perfectly mirror our own internal guilt. Think about it. Whenever we try to take a moment to just rest, to literally do nothing, there's always that tiny voice in our head, our own internal version of time asking, "Hey, how will tomorrow happen if you don't keep moving? You've got stuff to do." It's basically the anxiety of the modern condition captured perfectly in a poetic dialogue.
Section 3. Sitting with the sun. A mindful pause.
Now, instead of arguing with time, the narrator offers this profoundly gentle response. We will listen gently and say softly, "Sit for a while with the sun on the butterfly's wing." Just let that sink in. The narrator calmly invites time itself to stop stressing about the future, to stop worrying about tomorrow, and simply witness the quiet beauty of a sunbeam resting leisurely on a butterfly's delicate wing.
I really think this is the emotional core of our explainer today. It's a beautiful, super gentle reminder that when life feels overwhelming, when the pressure of the clock is bearing down on you, sometimes the absolute best response is just a soft, quiet acceptance of the present moment. You don't have to fight the anxiety, you can just invite it to sit down next to you and watch the butterfly.
Section 4. Letting the clock run. Calm acceptance of the fleeting.
Ultimately, though, this whimsical fantasy has to meet reality. Even if none of this happens, let everything go on. Let the clock run. Notice how there's no bitterness here? No anger that the universe can't actually be paused by pulling a literal battery out of a clock. It's just a willing surrender, gracefully allowing the universe's clock to tick right back into motion.
What this shows us is that true contentment doesn't actually come from fighting time. It comes from these gentle realizations, accepting time's inevitable flow, recognizing that beautiful moments are special specifically because they are fleeting, and finding ways to cherish those passing seconds without needing to forcefully trap them.
Section 5. The magic of photographs are personal pause buttons.
But wait, just when you think the poem is ending on a note of gentle resignation, the poet drops this beautiful secret weapon. I have kept a photo of that time when the sun sat leisurely on the butterfly's wing. The narrator hasn't lost the moment at all. They've simply poured all of this imaginative power into a simple camera photograph.
This is such a stunning, profound redefinition of photography. When you look at an image through the lens of this poem, photography isn't just snapping a quick picture. It's the real-world equivalent of taking the cell out of the clock. It is the literal act of holding on to a memory, creating a tangible space where all those pleasant feelings, the colors, the light, can stand still permanently.
Through this lens, every single photo you have ever taken, a beautiful sunset, a smiling friend, a quiet afternoon with your dog, is your very own way of pulling the battery out of the clock. Each photo carries this deep, nostalgic sense. It captures a moving, colorful narrative and freezes it so that you can return to that perfect calmness whenever the moving world gets just a bit too heavy. I want to leave you with a thought to chew on as you jump back into the moving world. What is your butterfly wing? If you could pull the battery out of the clock right now, what fleeting memory would you pause and keep forever? Thank you so much for joining me on this poetic journey today. Amid all the rushing of your daily clock, please don't forget to take a moment and just pause.